Hello, I'm Matt Galloway, and this is the Current Podcast.
And it's a bronze medal for Ilya Haroun in a Canadian record time.
For the Canadians, it's the best ever result in Olympic rugby history with silver.
Stand up, Canada. You've got a gold medal from McIntosh.
Just a sample of the amazing performances by Canadians at the Paris Olympics so far. Team Canada has already secured 8 medals at the Games, 3 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze. If you've been thrilled or nervous just watching the athletes compete, just imagine what it's like for their parents. We've reached a few of them today. First, we're going to Angie Shukla. She's at the Stade de France, heading over there actually momentarily because her daughter Jazz Shukla runs the 800 meters shortly. So Angie, thanks so much for joining us. Jazz's race is in a couple of hours. How are you feeling?
I'm very excited. We've been spending the last hour just getting our Canada gear ready. I've made myself a flag shirt with a big maple leaf on it, and we've got maple leaf socks. We're just really feeling like high school kids. Ready to cheer her on.
Who are you there with, Angie? Who's with you?
I'm with Jazz's boyfriend, Tyler, and right now, a very close friend of hers, Michael, and I've got another parent from Canada who's visiting us at our apartment. We're just to head over there.
Sounds like a great support team for you. What was it like, Angie, when you woke up this morning?
First thing, there was actually no worry. It was more, just figuring out how the day was going to go. It wasn't until we started getting dressed in our Canada gear that the excitement started. And also when I read her schedule, her lineup, and you go through the numbers, she's in the first heat. And just when we started comparing who else was in the heat, who was in the other heats, then, you get very nervous.
So tell us more about Jazz's training. Like, how much training did it take for Jazz to get to this moment? Okay,
so she's been basically running for fun for her whole life.
For fun?
And I think, for fun. She competed, but it wasn't. Jazz is, I'd say, a very gifted runner. And she just likes to run because she likes to run. She didn't really get fiercely competitive until, I'd say, the last year after going to Worlds.
What have you tried to do as a parent, to support Jazz's dream?
Get her where she needs to go when she needs to get there, send her money when she needs money, and just tell her to trust herself and do what feels right for her.
Yeah, I wanted to ask too, what kind of motherly advice do you give to your daughter who's about to compete in one of the biggest competitions in her life?
I think Jazz is so focused and so smart, and she is surrounded with experts in her field, and with trusting herself and trusting her instincts, it really, for her, is just a matter of choosing the right people to support her and listening to her. I kind of act as the person she can relieve stress on. And I let her make all the decisions. I really think she knows what she's doing. And I just let her know that she's the best person to make the decisions for herself.
So what does it mean to you to be there for Jazz today?
Everything. I couldn't imagine being away for this. I said no matter what, funds are tight, things are tough these days, but I would never, ever, ever miss this for anything.
No doubt. And do you have your whole community support behind you too?
Everyone can talk to me about nothing but Jazz being at the Olympics. Everywhere I go, I'm now introduced as Jazz's mom, who's going to the Olympics.
Well, we're so glad you're at the Olympics.
I'm no longer Angie.
No longer Angie.
It's honestly so exciting.
Well, Jazz's mom, I'm so glad that you've, taken some time in your crazy, busy, exciting morning to talk with us about this. And best of luck to Jazz. Canada will be watching.
Thank you. And thanks for having me on.
Good luck.
Okay.
And I'm joined also by two other Olympic parents. Allison Amaro is in our Ottawa studio. Her daughter, Sophia Jensen, is competing in the canoe sprint event. And we've also reached Norm Wiens. His son, Rylan Wiens, won the bronze in synchronized diving and will be competing next week in the individual event. Congratulations and thanks for being here. Hello, Norm.
Hi.
Well, you've been in Angie's shoes. What's that moment like, waiting for your kid to compete?
I would say excited but nerve-wracking, I think would be a good word for me.
Uh-huh.
Like, they can do it. They've got the tools. They're prepared. You want them to do that. Like, you want it so bad for them. I think maybe that's the part that gets you really nervous because they can do it, but you just want them to do their best performance.
Mm-hmm. And you had a whole cheering section at the pool with matching T-shirts. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we all got Wiens Paris 2024 T-shirts. Actually, Margot Earlham, who also dives out of Saskatoon and is in the women's 3-meter event, her mom made T-shirts for all of us with the different names on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was myself, my wife Angela, our son Nolan, and his girlfriend, Grandma Fran, 2 of my wife's cousins, and 2 of our good friends from Calgary. So there was a whole schwack of us there to cheer him on.
Those are going to be forever keepsakes at the house.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. Yeah.
Let's bring Allison into the conversation now. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
What did you think it's going to feel like to be there in Paris as your daughter Sophia makes her Olympic debut?
Oh, I think it's going to be super exciting, but I love what other person said is nerve-wracking. I'm already nerve-wracked.
That's Norm.
Yeah, Norm. Sorry, Norm. I'm super excited and nervous. And I think that it's going to be like crazy. As Angela said, getting all the Canada gear together. We made some tote bags for Sophia. We had some shirts. I don't think they'll be ready, but we're really, really, really excited.
So, Norm, after his competition, Rylan spoke to CBC. I just want to play a bit of that tape.
I mean, stepping up, goosebumps. I felt like I don't tear up very often, but I started to well up a little bit before we stepped on. And then looking up to my parents in the stands and my very first coach, Steve, behind me, being able to share this moment with all my family who made it here. It truly was a moment I'll remember for the rest of my life. And we worked for it, and I knew we were maybe slight underdogs coming in, but we knew we had it in us, and getting on that podium was oh so sweet.
And of course, he mentioned his parents in that. What did it mean to you, Norm, to hear that from your son?
Well, what was the other comment? Everything. We are a fairly tight-knit family, and we've been through the whole journey with him, and he's just that kind of a kid, right? He always thinks of others first. So it meant a lot for him to feel that way as well.
What was the first thing he said to you after you saw him, getting the medal?
We met him at Canada Olympic House. He walked by and waved and said just a few minutes, and then he was off doing interviews here, there. And when he finally got to the house, we just hugged and jumped up and down and cried.
Mm-hmm. I can just feel that emotion there, just picturing that in my mind. It sounds like a very, very special moment. Allison, athletes often talk about the support they get from family. Can you paint a picture of what that looks like for you guys?
It's a whole family affair, just as Norm has mentioned. When your athlete has a goal or a dream, you really just want to support them as best as you can. So, like for Sophia, what we've been doing as a family, we've been getting up early in the mornings, driving her to all of her trainings, being there to listen to her, let her kind of, as Angie said, let her be able to speak freely as whatever she needs to say, and being that great active listener for her, because they know how to deal with it. They just have to figure out how to do it. And our job as a parent is to provide all that background support for them. The food, the driving, laundry, lots of laundry, but also the mental support, the little bit of guidance, the financial support. Just, that wraparound support, I think, is what we've really enjoyed the journey, and that has been elevated our family unit to really support Sophia with this big dream and goal.
And there's always ups and downs in sports, and it takes a lot of emotional support when things don't go their way.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's such an emotional roller coaster. You know, there's times of fatigue and times of excitement and times of disappointment and understanding all those pieces. And that's just in the sport. I mean, then you have to look outside of the sport through their growth and development. You know, Sophia started kind of competing when she was about 16, and that's a huge growth, right? For a high school student, having to figure out the social friends group and whether you want to go outside and party. And it's trying to figure out how to navigate all that stuff and allow her to follow her goal if she wants to continue to follow it. Because it's her choice all along, not ours.
Norm, does that resonate for you? What have you and your family done to support Ryland's dream?
It really does. Like, you know, to be honest, when he comes home, like he trains 27 to 30 hours a week. And then he was going to university part-time as well. You know, the party thing, that didn't exist in his world. It hasn't. That's a choice he's made. But just when he comes home, we don't talk about diving. Mm-hmm. We talk about motorbiking, snowmobiling, you know, what other things that are going on in his life. And we try to leave the diving at the pool between him and his coach and his support team there. So I think, you know, in that regard, that's how we support him, is to just try to give him a more, I don't know, a broad base of experience or, you know, conversation, I guess.
Yeah, that totally speaks to me, because that's what we do at our family as well. Like, we go on family canoe trips. I know it's still canoeing, but we don't talk about canoeing. Yes. We don't, you know, we do a whole bunch of other things, because that's just allowing the individual to be a broad person.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ryland has been through injury too, I understand. He had to pull out of events last year when he hurt his neck. Tell us about that.
Yes, that was tough. Like, he hurt his neck. He had to pull out of World Championships, and he had to pull out of World Cup. You know, but just what amazed me is his attitude never changed. He was always positive. He was always upbeat. His goal was the Olympics. And yes, if I have to take 3, 4, 5 months off now, I'm going to do that. So when it comes around to 2024, I'm going to be healthy. So he was able to stay focused. And I'm just blown away by his ability to do that.
It sounds like, and this question can go to both you, Norm and Allison, but it sounds like, you know, athletes have to have this very strong mental capability to get through anything and everything that comes their way. So how do you raise a child to have that characteristic? Allison, do you want to start?
You know, it's very few people, I think, get the opportunity to have the strength and the clarity so young to know exactly what they want. And, I think we're just a part of the journey, honestly. Like, we provide what we can. They understand. They have this internal drive. They know what they want. And how lucky for us to be a part of that and just push that along and nurture it and support it. And, yeah, it's a challenge. Like, it's like you kind of, you honor it, right? You honor the vulnerability. You honor the goal. You honor it in each step along the way, whether it's something that's been successful and positive, or it has been disappointment or feeling like a failure, but it's learning along the way, and it's just really honoring each small step as you go. And I'm just so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think athletes like this kind of are athletes like this. We can't manufacture them. We can't turn our kids into them. Mm-hmm. They just are. When Ryland was 9, we were camping down in Idaho one summer and watching the Olympic diving on somebody's big screen outside their trailer. And Ryland's like, that's going to be me someday, right? 9 years old. Wow. That's when he decided, I'm going to go there, right? And so we are just, yeah, like Allison said, we're just along for the ride and support in any way we can.
So when a 9-year-old says that to you, do you believe it? Do you encourage it along the way? Like, what do you do in that situation?
Absolutely. I knew what kind of a kid he was. You know, he was jumping off the diving board in Grandma and Grandpa's pool at 3 years old with water wings on, right? So, you know, he was water skiing at 3 years old. So he was just the kid that if he wants to go there, he's going to go there.
Mm-hmm. And today, Norm, how do you keep yourself from having a heart attack before Rylan dives off that 10-meter platform? I can imagine watching him at 3 years old in the pool, but at a 10-meter platform?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a lobster getting boiled in the pot. You just get used to it. He slowly works his way up. And by the time he's doing his 4.5, you're like, oh yeah, another day at the pool kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but you still get nervous. There's always a chance of injury with every dive, right? So, you never lose that kind of feeling, I guess, of awe or nervousness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about for you, Allison? How do you manage your anxiety when Sophia is competing?
Oh, goodness. That's a real challenge. I tend to find myself at the back of the bleachers running back and forth and kind of looking through my fingers, trying to, peep cheering on for her. I'm very nervous for her. I mean, I really believe in her. I know that she's capable of doing it. She's got the skills of managing her nerves more than I do. And so I probably need some of that mental coaching for myself. But last year was the first time we had ever gone to any of her international events. And so before I used to hide myself in the house, right, and run back and forth and yell at the TV. So it was easy to do. Being in public's a little bit more embarrassing for me, but it's all good. And I just believe, right? It's, it's one of those moments that I know that she's capable. And it's, as Norm was saying, is just pulling it all together at the right time. And because she's capable of doing it. So,
And Norm, is there something you'd like to say to Allison and other parents in Paris?
Just absolutely enjoy it, right? I know we all have those stressful moments of when our kids are doing their thing, and no matter what happens, we're just so unbelievably proud that they're here, right? Mm-hmm. Just to make it to the Olympics, no matter what else they do. Unbelievably proud.
And Allison, you're leaving tomorrow for Paris. What's going through your mind?
Oh, well, you try to fill your mind with so many different things, specifically the outfit, as Angie had mentioned. I'm trying to figure out how to be as Canadian as possible, jump myself right on that bandwagon of being the best Canadian cheer person I can be. And then also the little details, logistics, right, of getting to go and see all the great places in Paris, really embracing, I'm super excited to embrace the Olympic spirit while I'm there. And our whole family is going, so we're all pretty pumped about going.
Well, safe travels, Allison and Norm. Excited for next week's event as well. So thank you both for joining us this morning. I can just, feel the excitement. I myself am a parent of an athlete, so I can totally resonate with some of the things that you have said. So, it's been great to speak with you both this morning. And good luck to your kids.
Thank you. And good luck to Rylan next week, Norm. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you. You too. And thanks for having us.
Norm Wiens is Canadian diver Rylan Wiens' dad. Rylan won the bronze in synchronized diving and competes again in the individual event next week. And Allison Amaro is Sophia Jensen's mom. She is competing in the canoe sprint event.